And this is Phillips all the way behind the net, take it all the way down. And I guess we're going to go back to live action here, but that is the first goal of the game for the Buccaneers. We apologize for some of the audio difficulties that we've been having here, as Matt Collins is now going to take it across midfield for the Bucs. Bucs lead 1-0. We have 8.5 to go here in the first quarter. At the top of the key, that's Griffin Marcus. And this one finds the back of the net as well. Like that's Matt Collins, number 8. Try to get another look at that. But Blair off to a 2-0 lead so far here today.
And here's a look at the replay.
You have Powers over here, and they're going to try to get it down low here to Collins. A good pass from Marcus, and then Collins just unloads as he has been accustomed to do here. Matt Collins has been fantastic all season long. We had some audio difficulties to start the stream here, but I just wanted to mention this is senior day here at Blair Academy. We are live from the bowl. The bowl had about 3 inches of water in it, but was able to dry out as Cooper Clark comes all the way down the zone and gets this one on net, but a good save there by Oratory Prep. And this one is picked off by Chris Powers. So Blair is on an absolute mission today. So we are honoring some seniors here today, and one of them just puts one in the back of the net. And this Blair team is absolutely determined today, Sean. This has been fantastic.
Yeah, they've come out really, to use a baseball analogy, they've come out swinging the bats in this one, and they have done an outstanding job doing so.
And we have a timeout on the field here, time for us to catch our breath. So I don't think that the audio was working for, I think, the good first 5 minutes of it. So we're going to go right through once again. We'll provide a little intro for you, and we'll get going once again. You know what? We're just going to start things over, and we're going to do it from here. It is Blair, it is Oratory Prep, and it is Senior Day here live from Blair Academy. And we are back from the timeout. Blair has rocketed out to a sizable 3-0 lead here. Goals by Matt Collins, J.C. Phillips, the goaltender, and Chris Powers here to get things going on Senior Day live from the bowl. We mentioned some of the seniors before the game started were recognized. Griffin Marcus going to Franklin and Marshall next year. We have Chris Wilson from Lake Forest, Illinois, as this one is a little bit off the mark. And Chris Wilson was a post-grad. He also contributed to the football team that won the Maple League Championship this year. He's headed to Holy Cross next year. Also, we have Jay Buzan, who came from Pennington, who's also on the swim team. We had Matt Collins headed to Virginia Tech next year. We have J.C. Phillips, the goaltender, who is headed to Merchant Marine Academy, who's been fantastic in that all year. He is one of the captains. Him, Matt Collins, and Griffin Marcus are the captains here for this squad. Of course, Zach Hoffman from Atlanta, Georgia, the midfielder, We also recognize as our Strive Spotlight player, who's been fantastic all season long. Matt Collins, the last game that we did, scored 9 goals against a Lenape Valley team in a game that they won 15-14. Hoffman is a slasher. He can move through a defensive zone, and he can absolutely fire the ball. So Zach Hoffman's done a fantastic job all season long for Blair Academy. Along with the rest of the seniors, they've got some great defensive play out of Rich Erlinson as well. And Rich Erlinson is headed to Elmira College. So a very special day here for the seniors, kind of a whirlwind of emotions here. It is their last game no matter what. This is their last game. They're done with tournament play, so they have to leave it all out on the line here. Oratory Prep 11-5 on the year. Blair at 7-9 on the year. Oratory Prep will play in their state tournament next week. And a stick is lost underneath by Andrew Kroonquist. And there will be a whistle here, and it will go back to Blair. We have about 5 minutes and 40 seconds to go here in the first quarter. Once again, we apologize for the audio difficulties that we had to start the game off. And J.C. Phillips is going to control it behind the goal once again.
Paying a little bit more attention to him this time around.
All right. Slashing through the defense, getting it to Griffin Marcus. Marcus to the left, nice spin move, looks in front, can't find anybody, so he's going to work it back out to Powers. Chris Powers, a senior from Plandome, New York. This one was a little bit high. Collins, when he gets in a groove, Sean, he just keeps shooting, and he'll get even further back and further back and further back. Shades of Danny Green last year in the playoffs.
Yeah, he's not afraid to shoot it from deep, and he's a prolific scorer from there.
And there he is. Patty Morrison puts one on the board for the Buccaneers. The score now 4-0, and Pat Morrison, the outstanding sophomore from Lancaster, Pennsylvania, Patty Moe, has been a fantastic addition to this team. And Coach Wenner, we were able to visit with him before the season started. And he had some serious expectations for Patty Moe. As you see him once again here, putting it past the goaltender for his first goal of the game. But Patty Moe is going to be one of their leaders as the program continues here. Going to lead them into the future. A fantastic talent and a prolific goal scorer. As another one, Matt Collins gets it to Chris Powers. Powers will get it back down to Patty Moe, and Patty Moe likes to go behind the net and set things up for his team, so that's where he will go. He'll cross pass with Lexi Kemp. And here comes a pass underneath from Marcus, but it goes out of bounds, and this will be in the possession of Oratory Prep. 4:38 to go here. Fix our clock. And this is the final game of the season here for the Bucks. The baseball team is in the midst of their Prep A tournament at the Petty School, taking on the Hun School right now, as this shot from number 19, Jack McKenna, is off the mark. McKenna, a junior midfielder for the Rams. Andrew Kroonquist behind the net. The softball team at Mercersburg today. And this one is high. Great defense by Erlinson. And it'll get scooped up quickly by Ben Sisler. Sisler will work it back to Stein. And Stein is going to find Phillips once again. Phillips already with a goal on the day. You don't see that very often. And here goes Hoffman. Hoffman can absolutely jet. Gets his arm caught in the stick of an Oratory Prep defender. A whistle on the play. That is number 18, Paul Moyer. Started to mix it up a little bit. And it'll be white ball here. And I believe Moyer will have to head to the box. Or no, he will not. Yes, he might. All right, so Blair will start off with it. Griffin Marcus marches towards the net, gets it to Collins. Collins thought about it, but he'll get it back to Marcus, back to Collins, and here it is once again. And it's in.
Wow. How about this start to the game by Blair? They have come out firing from all over the place, and they've done so to great degrees of success.
Matt Collins ripping the upper corners of this goal like he was born to do so. Matt Collins headed to Virginia Tech. He is going to play club lacrosse there and potentially continue his career, as he will get a breather coming off 3 games where he wasn't able to play. Let's take a look at it once again here, Sean. He got a little bit of oomph into this one.
Sure did. Look at that. Just firing it in. What a shot.
That's Sean Lerman on the 1s and 2s, getting the replays all set for us. We appreciate that. Derek Raymond out in Seattle covering a graduation. Good defense off of the draw from R.J. Stein, but it'll eventually get back to Oratory Prep. And it's Jack McKenna with it right now. McKenna gets some orders from his coach. Coach Donnelly, also the director of admissions at Oratory Prep. Got about 3 minutes to go here. Pass underneath is intended for Kroonquist, but it will go all the way out of bounds, and it will go to Blair. Just under 3 to go here in the first quarter. It has been all Buccaneers. 5-0 is the score. Here comes Hoffman. Hoffman finds Morrison. Morrison brings it back out to the left side and gets it back to Hoffman, who finds Kemp behind the net. They are absolutely crisp today. Collins is going to work it back out. They are just feeling it on the offensive end. Great pass, great catch. Kemp slips. And a save made there by the goaltender, Matt Lanigan. Lanigan is going to find Boylan. Boylan up, misses Bobby D'Angelo. And this will get eventually scooped up. Wow, what a play by D'Angelo. It is knocked away by J.C. Phillips. Bobby D'Angelo, an excellent job getting that ground ball and getting a shot on goal, but to no avail. And here on the other end for Blair is Sisler. He will take on a body, and it'll go out of bounds, and it'll go back to Oratory Prep.
You know, Tom, it's easy to talk about what Blair's done offensively today, but they've been just as good, if not better, on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah, their defensive stops have led to some great offensive opportunities, but, Sean, it's just apparent here that every single player on this field is playing their absolute A game, and that is such a cool thing to see here, especially on a day like this.
Love it when a plan comes together.
Collins fighting for it. Good D there by Oratory. McHale gets it back to McKenna. Some great size on this Oratory Prep team, Sean.
Yeah.
Size and speed, if they're able to just regain their composure and great defense here by Powers and Erlinson once again, but just maintain their composure and, catch their breath a little bit here. They're going to be able to sustain this onslaught by Blair's offense. Powers is going to take it once again, and he will bypass Cooper Clark. Now I'll get it back to him. Wow. Clark, a nice job of avoiding a diving Oratory Prep player. That was number 32, Stephen Gallick, with the Brian Dawkins dive. Try to get the ball out of Clark's stick. We got to put 40, just under 40 seconds back on the clock here. 36 to go in the first quarter. That was Michael Sargenti who was controlling it at the top. And we're going to have another whistle here. And I believe Chris Wilson will head to the box for the Buccaneers. So Chris Wilson a little bit too aggressive. We got 10 seconds on the clock here. $5-0 the score. Blair has completely dominated this first quarter.
And they have, and really the thing that I've noticed is the speed of Blair is just incredible. They are jetting up and down this field.
And the clock will tick under 10 seconds, and it looks like the Rams will hold it as the quarter comes to an end. Blair up 5-0. What a quarter it was on senior day here. A great way to start it off as the Buccaneers celebrated their 5 seniors before the game started with a nice little ceremony with some roses, which we were able to capture on video, but the audio, unfortunately, was not available, so we'll just tell you about it. Talked about the parents of the players and where they're headed to school next year. It was very short. It was very sweet, but it was an excellent homage to the seniors here at Blair Academy. Coach Wenner is in his first year as head coach. He was an assistant last year. And Coach Wenner played at Army, actually. He went to Blair, I believe, and he graduated in 1996. He's a graduate of the U.S. Military Academy, as we said, at West Point. So he went to Army, played lacrosse there, and he is the Associate Dean of Admissions here. And he was hanging out with his son this morning. Got a chance to talk to him a little bit, and very excited for what these seniors are going to go on and do in the future. We'll hear from him at halftime because we were able to interview him before the season started. And a lot of the stuff that he said, what he wanted these kids to do as they progress on in life is to kind of take the lessons that you learn in a team environment like lacrosse provides and and translate that into everyday life. So that is something that I think Griffin Marcus might be the only player here that is, I could be mistaken, but I think he might be the only player that is going on to play in college. But these guys are going to learn. Obviously, Matt Collins is going to play club at Virginia Tech. I believe he plans to do so. But there's a lot of different stuff that you can take from just being a part of a varsity team here as you go on.
And I think that's one of the reasons that sports at the high school level, it's so great for kids to be able to compete at this level. You learn so much about more than just how to play the game.
So Oratory Prep will start with it in the Blair zone, and they will work it around the perimeter here. Good ball moving to get something going here. Andrew Kroonquist gets it underneath. Mike McHale thought about it. He's going to work it back out once again. So Oratory Prep will concede that first quarter, and it looked like they were doing okay in that offensive set, but a beautiful play by Sisler gets it to Marcus, and Marcus gets shoved from behind, loses it, and a flag will come down, and there will be a stop in play as a pretty obvious shove from behind sent Marcus to the turf. And I believe that is Jake Gertz headed to the penalty box for Oratory Prep. Check that. That is number 18, Paul Moyer, the junior midfielder, who's in the box now for Oratory Prep. So we'll get things going here once again. Marcus is going to control it and walk with it and wait for Powers to come into the zone. Powers back to Marcus. Great pass underneath. It's Wyatt Long with it. Gets it back to Patty Morrison. Morrison back out to Collins. Collins to Marcus at the top of the key. Marcus underneath. In and getting it past the goaltender. Wyatt Long, a beautiful goal underneath. Absorbed a monster hit, but able to get it in. 6-0 now the score. It's a pretty incredible play there. So he took a mouthful from the goaltender Matt Lanigan and a couple other defenders. Was able to get it past for the goal. 6-0 here. 10.5 to go in the second quarter. We'll see it once again as they will work it down to Long. Long into the game for the first time today. Getting molested from behind, gets shoved from the back and catches Lanigan's knee to the chest. But after all that, a goal. So Wyatt Long, a fantastic job on the offensive end fighting to the hole and getting it to the back of the cage. Powers and Morrison fighting for it. Getting it to Marcus. Griffin Marcus, a nice ground ball recovery there. Letting Powers and Morrison do his dirty work as he just comes in and cleans up the trash as he gets it back out to eventually Collins here. Back to Powers. Powers is going to get it back to Marcus. Marcus guarded by Boylan. Good pass inside. Jay Buzan. One step and fires and gets it to the back of the net. So Jay Buzan joins the goal parade here for Blair Academy. Receives a big hug from Griffin Marcus. So Buzan, a goal. Matt Collins, a goal. Chris Powers, a goal. Our seniors representing extremely well here. J.C. Phillips, a goal. And a beautiful pass and beautiful goal there. They are playing out of their minds today, Sean. Yeah,
I mean, they are just, talk about stepping up in a big game at the end of the season, stepping up on your senior day. It's just incredible.
Collins continues to succeed here on the faceoff, and a push will give it back to Blair. So we have a goal from J.C. Phillips, a goal from Chris Powers, a goal from Pat Morrison, a goal from Wyatt Long, a goal from Jay Buzan. And a goal from Collins. There you go. Those are your 6. Buzan back to Collins. We'll see what Collins does with it here. Collins gets it to Powers. A nice defensive play. I believe that's Mike McHale, the long stick midfielder. Going to bring it into the Blair zone. 2 beautiful passes underneath, and Oratory Prep on the board for the first time today. Jake Contra, the freshman underneath, and that's some great transition lacrosse there, Sean.
Yeah, that's, great offense starts from great defense. That's how Blair has done it so far to get this big lead, and that's what Oratory Prep did right there. Is they played some good defense. They were able to get on the fast break and score off of that.
So 7-1 now the score. Oratory Prep faithful got on their feet for the first time today. Just over 9 minutes to go here in the second quarter. And they're just going to call a hold on Collins, so they'll start it off here in Oratory Prep possession. Oratory Prep well-traveled, Sean. A lot of Oratory Prep faithful here at the game.
Yeah, nice little crowd.
Let's say everybody, hi to all the parents that couldn't be here, that are watching. Parents, relatives are watching live now. This is the final game of the Blair Lacrosse season. Coach Kevin Donnelly's squad, 11-5 on the year. They're the 8th seed in the upcoming NJSIAA state tournament. They're going to host number 9 Gloucester Catholic in a first-round game this Tuesday. This opportunity in front of the net is no good. I believe that's Jack McKenna. McKenna verbally committed to play at Holy Cross. So McKenna is a very talented Oratory Prep team. Matt Lanigan in net recently broke the Oratory all-time save record as well. And they will work it back out to the perimeter, and that's Stephen Gallick who controls it now. Gets it to McKenna. McKenna to Sargenti. Behind the net, that's one of the three captains, Kroonquist. Jake Contra, the lone goal scorer here for Oratory Prep. And here comes McKenna. McKenna, guarded by Stein, rips it towards the net, and it'll go out of bounds, but Oratory Prep will maintain possession here. Love this venue, Sean.
Beautiful.
Kind of underneath, down the hill in the center of campus, really. You see all the beautiful buildings surrounding it. It really is a nice place to play a game. And this one is off the mark by Kroonquist, and it'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, Tom, every time I come out here to Blair Academy, I see something else that's beautiful and that impresses me as far as what an outstanding facility this is here.
Gallick with a shot, this one off the mark. J.C. Phillips doing a nice job kind of eliminating the different openings to even aim for, and was able to thwart this one away and out of bounds. Sargenti, that's it back to McKenna, looking for Gallick. Spending a lot of time in the defensive zone is Blair. McKenna gets past Stein. He's going to rip this one into the back of the net. Jack McKenna, outstanding job. So he has a goal along with Contra here today.
On that entire possession, Tom, McKenna just looked like he wanted to make something happen. He knows his team's behind here, that Blair's been off to a really hot start. So he just had that kind of look about him that, okay, I'm going to start making something happen for Oratory Prep.
And you get the sense now that sort of the momentum of the game is changing a little bit. Obviously, Blair couldn't have been more on fire in that first quarter. But this is an Oratory Prep team that has had some serious success this year. They're extremely well coached. They have a ton of talent. They got guys playing in college next year. And you've seen a completely different approach here in the second quarter, as most of it has taken place in the offensive zone for Oratory Prep. Now you have three Ram midfielders fighting with Collins to get it, and eventually up with it is Anthony Silvestri. No shortage of Italians on this Rams team, which you always like to see. Have some lacrosse practicing patrons as well. Sargenti almost stalking his prey here as he looks to set something up for the Rams. Good defense from Collins. Sargenti gets by him and tries to bounce this one in, but it goes over the goal. And reaching out is Sisler, and it will be Oratory Prep ball. So a great hustle by Kroonquist. Kroonquist is the all-time leading goal scorer here. He will control it for Oratory Prep. He will control it behind the net, looking for something in the middle, and just rips this one in, and it rattles around the crossbar and in for a goal. 7-3 now the score. Oratory Prep on a 3-0 run, I guess you could say.
Yeah, they certainly are. They've come out here in the second quarter, and they've been a lot more aggressive, but that started on the defensive end, whereas Blair got a lot of their starts in the defensive end in the first quarter. You know, Oratory Prep's kind of taken a page out of that book here in quarter number 2.
Kroonquist headed to Susquehanna University next year. He broke the 100 goal mark on Saturday, May 10th, and a win at Randolph just a week ago. So that was the stat that I was looking for. I'm not sure if he's the leading goal scorer, but he has over 100, which is pretty impressive. As the faceoff will go back to Oratory Prep. Fighting for it is Moyer, and Moyer will control it. So here come the Rams once again. Contra with it. Contra on the move. Displaying some pretty impressive stick skills here. McKenna fires this one in. 7-4 now the score. Oratory Prep has come charging back into this game to decrease the deficit now to 3. And it has been a tale of 2 quarters here. Blair looking to bottle up the energy that they had in that first quarter because they can't let this one slip away.
Yeah, Blair's playing on their heels a little bit right now, but I think all they have to do is just be a little bit more aggressive and they'll be just fine. They can get back into that groove that they saw in the first quarter.
So we have 4:22 to go here. We have a Coach Kemp sighting here. I believe I recognized him. Coach Kemp was the lacrosse coach at the Hunt School of Princeton when I attended the grade school in Princeton there, Sean. His son Lexi was quite the toddler when I first met him. Now he is one of the leading goal scorers for Blair Academy. Coach Kemp also, interesting stat, the largest hands on a human being ever.
Really? Is
Yeah.
that factual information that you have
It
backed
is.
up by statistics?
It is. 7-4 the score. Blair leads Oratory Prep. All 7 goals were scored in the first quarter for Blair. All 4 goals scored in the second quarter for Oratory Prep. So Blair won the first quarter 7-0. Oratory Prep winning the second quarter 4-0. And it is shaping to be an outstanding game here, live from the bowl here at Blair Academy. It is senior day for 2014, saying goodbye to a number of seniors here at Blair Academy. J.C. Phillips, Griffin Marcus, Jay Buzan, Chris Wilson, Matt Collins, Zach Hoffman, and Richard Erlinson all headed to college next year. Been a treat to watch them play this year. This field is immaculate. You would never imagine that it was underwater at 4 o'clock yesterday.
Well, that's just the way the weather's been. Luckily, we got this beautiful day today. Get this game in to close out the season on probably the nicest day of spring so far.
It is a beaut. Couple clouds in the sky. Not exactly a high sky. You familiar with the term high sky, Sean?
I'm not.
Okay, so it's a baseball term. If there are no clouds in the sky, it's a little bit tougher to judge fly balls because there's no contrast.
Well, I understand that.
Okay.
From playing baseball, but I didn't know the term high sky. I like it though.
Now you do. I'm not sure it's pertinent to lacrosse because I don't think the ball gets above 10 feet at any point during the game.
You never know. Could come into play at some point, and then you'll look like a genius.
It could. Kind of a loose ball that just shoots 30 feet in the air.
Yeah, it happens.
So McKenna's going to get it now. Chris Wilson back in the game with the orange head of his lacrosse stick. Going to defend McKenna. Beautiful save by J.C. Phillips. A rebound attempt is blocked away once again. Contra now controls it for the Rams. Got 3.5 to go here in the second quarter. McKenna, guarded by Wilson, forces him to his right, and this one squeaks by Phillips for McKenna's second goal of the game. 7-5 is the score. The Rams are storming back.
And McKenna has just been really, really good here in this second quarter. He gets that ball, backs up a couple steps, surveys the field, and then just charges in.
So Wilson forcing him to his right there. And McKenna showed just as much velocity there from the right side as he did from the left. And now it's a 2-goal game. Collins wins this one. And now Blair, I haven't seen them on this side for a really long time. Blair looking to increase their lead. They built a 7-0 lead in the first quarter. Oratory Prep has stormed back. Collins to Morrison. Buzan looking for Hoffman. Now Hoffman has it. Gets it to Powers. Powers looking for Marcus. Collins rips this one out of bounds. Well, Matt Collins looking to settle into a bit of a groove that he has been accustomed to settle into. Has a nice goal that he recorded earlier in the game. On a similar shot, it pass underneath. Goal blocked. Sorry, the ball blocked there by Moyer. And they'll get it back to Sargenti. A nice move to get away from Marcus. Cuts back to the middle of the field, crosses midfield. effortlessly getting past the Blair defense. And this one is blocked away by R.J. Stein. And he will try to work it to Cooper Clark, but it looks like this one, it will stay in bounds. Contra for Oratory Prep will be knocked over, and they will keep the ball here deep into the Blair zone. Contra going to work it back to Kroonquist. Kroonquist sails this one over the head of Joel Piscuzzi. Miscuzzi, Joel Piscuzzi. And Stein will now control it for the Bucks. A beautiful catch there by Powers. Like he's almost showing off. Marcus sets a pick. Powers doesn't use it. Marcus picks up the ground ball, and now he's going to charge towards the cage. Brings it back out. And they get it to Collins. Collins more of a, I would say, a Tony Parker type of point guard.
You're really all about the Spurs today, Tom.
Collins thinks about it, fires it, and a nice block by Lanigan. Lanigan, not the tallest goaltender that you'll see, but one of the most skilled, that's for sure. Gallick with it. Now McKenna's got it. McKenna's going to slow it up. We got under a minute to play here.
No need to rush.
Looks like they're going to hold for one shot. McKenna, guarded by Sisler, makes a move to the left. He's going to fire this one towards the goal, and J.C. Phillips snags it. Beautiful save by the senior goaltender, and he's going to fire this one all the way downfield. And Morrison scoops it up with 6 seconds left, fires one towards the goal. Buzan has it, gets it knocked away. Buzan gets it back, goes behind the back, and that'll do it here in the second quarter. So after one half of play, Blair leads 7-5. But if you looked at either quarter, Sean, by itself, you would think this was going to be a blowout in either direction. The first quarter, you would think that Blair was going to win this maybe 15-0. The second quarter, you would think that Oratory Prep was going to win this 15-0 if you didn't already see the 7 goals by Blair.
Yeah, and I think as the coaches and the players go into halftime here, there's going to be a lot of conversation of, hey, let's replicate what we did and then we'll throw in quarter number 1 for Blair, and we'll make that sentence end in quarter number 2 for Oratory Prep. Because, you know, it really was a tale of two quarters. Both squads came out and went on huge runs in their respective quarters, and we'll see which team's able to come out in the third and make something happen.
Well, before the season started, Sean, we were able to meet and talk with Coach Winter. Talked about his expectations for the year. He talked about some of the guys he was expecting to step up, some of the newcomers of this team, and obviously what he wanted people to take from the Blair Lacrosse program. So we're going to hear from him right now. We're also going to show you some highlights from our work during the winter here on Strive. So stay tuned. We'll be back with second half action right after this.
It's an amazing feeling that I'm representing my country, and for the next nine to however long I make the military career, that many years, is to be representing America. It's a great feeling.
It seems as if this crowd is giving the team the silent treatment until the first basket. Battle for three. Got it.
Oh,
and there they go.
My gosh.
Bennett again, buries it, Bennett again, last three from beyond the arc.
It's getting to be absurd, Mike.
When life gets hard, you gotta have strength.
Gabby Reddit with a block underneath.
Keep faith in the
Rivers makes a nice move to get around his man. You're seeing the athleticism on display there. Hill, 3, yes! Goes up, shoots the 3 and 1.
Baby. It is the USA Football National Signing Day breakfast live from AT&T Stadium.
My name is Morale Stevens. I play receiver and tight end, and I will be attending the University of Florida.
To have an opportunity to play for the nation's #1 defense. I mean, to have an opportunity to come in early and make an immediate impact.
It is a 6-game series of the USA Football International Poll.
Coming through the backfield and causing a fumble, it is scooped up by Team USA, and it will go all the way into the end zone. Touchdown, Ryan Wheaton. And down the right sideline, Kamari Murray for the touchdown.
Looking to the back of the end zone, and it's going to be caught. Ryan Rutkowski got it this time.
Nelson is off to the races and will not be caught.
Watch out. And it looks like we're going in fast forward, ladies and gentlemen. That is true to life speed from Charles Nelson. Brooks with the take. Nicholas Brooks, are you kidding me?
The young and restless, together no one can stand against us. We are the young and restless, we are one.
Back to Cena. Cena puts up another 3. It's good.
Beautifully done by Josh McGiffrey.
Here comes Ryan up the court. Makes a nice hesitation move. And 1.
It's in the corner to back for 3.
I got to see a Mike Silverthorne 3 before this game goes. For 3. And he's got it.
USA looking for some final punctuation on tonight's win over Canada.
Unbelievable.
John Labreski.
My expectations, I want the kids to come together as a unit. That's the biggest thing, is to bond as a team. You can have a lot of individual stars, but if you're not clicking together as a team, it doesn't matter how good you are, because it's not going to be effective. So that's my #1 goal, is to connect the kids to one another. I have 2 great assistant coaches, Mike Ryerson and Tim Goggins, and we all 3 together do a great job, I think, in terms of getting that cohesiveness established and then highlighting the individual talents of each kid. Maddie Collins is a 2-year returning senior who's a midi. He's their #1 scorer last year, first team Maple selection and lead scorer within our second leader in scoring in the Maple. He's obviously a big one. J.C. Phillips, our goalie, is a 4-year senior, 4-year varsity team member, captain of the team. So is Maddie. So those are 2 guys particularly that I'm going to rely on quite a bit. Maddie on the offense, JC on the defense. And then some young guys, Patty Morrison is a great young attackman, sophomore, who has developed tremendously since last year, and I think with his hard work and effort he puts in the offseason will continue to do the same and be a leader on the team in future years. Griffin Marcus, he's a new senior attackman. He'll definitely be a big impact in terms of his effect on the team and the team dynamic. He's a big attackman, and he works really well complementing Patty Morrison and Lexi Kemp, our other 2 attackmen. They each have their own individual strengths and skills, and I think they work really well together. So I'm looking forward to having some big things from him, who also is a new captain this year. From the youngest, most inexperienced guy on JV to the most seasoned veteran on the varsity, I want the guys to know that this is the school program and their program. And so as they progress up through the JV ranks and through the varsity ranks, and some of them will go to college on lacrosse scholarships and some will not, but regardless, that they're walking away as a team committed to not only themselves and their own development, but to one another. Character-wise is a big word that we use here at Blair, and I definitely, through my own interactions with the boys and through the assistant coaches as well, try to create that culture of character and the example that you set on a daily basis. It speaks volumes to who you are, not only as a player, but as a person, and that's big for us.
And there he was, Coach Wenner, talking about his expectations for the year, and also what he wanted Blair Academy lacrosse players to take away from the program. Some pretty valuable stuff there as we honor the seniors on this Blair Academy team. I had a nice ceremony for them before we got underway. You see there Matt Collins, who's running back to possibly get some provisions for the second half. Matt Collins, parents Sean and Mary Jo, class of Virginia Tech class of 2018. So he's going to enroll into to school at Virginia Tech next year. He scored a goal earlier in the first quarter. Also another senior, we have number 6, Chris Powers. And Chris also has a goal on the day. He's done a fantastic job all season long. His parents, John and Linda. He's going to Boston College next year. Zach Hoffman from Atlanta, Georgia, number 5. Parents Jeff and Beatrice, not here today, but watching down in Atlanta, Georgia. So we want to give them a quick shout out and a nice big hello. Rich Erlinson, number 7, the defender for the Buccaneers, headed to Elmira College. I should have mentioned Zach Hoffman's going to Cornell next year. Not too shabby there. Dean and Linda, the parents of Rich Erlinson, who's done a great job here today. Also Griffin Marcus, a postgraduate who is headed to Franklin and Marshall next year, number 14. And then we have Griffin also a captain, Chris Wilson, another postgraduate who is headed to Holy Cross next year. His parents, Greg and Margot, and also Jay Buzan, who is the last senior on the squad. And he came in as a postgraduate this year from the Pennington School. So he was also a member of the swim team. And Jay has a goal in the first quarter as well. So the goals for Blair Academy in the first quarter and in the first half: Patrick Morrison had 1, Zach Hoffman had 1, Chris Powers had 1, Matt Collins had 1, Wyatt Long had 1, J.C. Phillips had 1, and Jay Buzan had 1. So we go into the third quarter here. Blair up 7-5. They are in a little bit more of a battle than they probably anticipated.
Certainly more than they anticipated after the way that they went up early in this one. They were on fire in the first few minutes of the game, but in quarter number 2, Oratory Prep stormed back, and now it's a ball game.
All right, so I believe we have R.J. Stein playing or taking the face-off here for the Buccaneers, but it is won by Oratory Prep, and Oratory Prep looks to continue their dominance here. They completely controlled that second quarter. But here comes Patty Moe. Patrick Morrison controls it. Blair came out with a ton of energy to start the game off. They were fired up. It was fantastic to see, firing on all cylinders. Had a bunch of goals from a bunch of different people, showed some serious emotion. It was great to see. And in that second quarter, it almost like it just kind of took a breath and let Oratory Prep back into this game. Hoffman, a nice pass underneath to Patty Morrison. They're still as crisp as can be with these passes. It's pretty remarkable. Marcus thought about it. Now he's going to bring it back out. Find a better angle. Hoffman now rips it off the ground and in. Zach Hoffman puts Blair back on the board for the first time since the first quarter. 8-5 now the score.
Great shot, great use of the bounce there to get it into the net. We'll take a look at the replay here.
And doing a great job working it around. And Marcus really does a great job of getting things going. When he has the ball in his stick, he really just opens a lot of different lanes for other scorers on his team. And Hoffman doing a great job there, putting it into the back of the net. getting Blair back on the board, increasing the lead to 4 as Collins wins this face-off. Here he comes, looking for Buzan, finds Buzan. Gets it to Patty Moe from Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Back to Buzan. Now Marcus controls it. Marcus airmails Collins here. Collins tries to slash it away from Moyer, but Moyer's going to scoop it up and now get it back to Lanigan in goal. Back to Moyer. He's going to work it all the way to Gentile, but Gentile can't come up with it. R.J. Stein fighting for the ground ball, and it'll go back to Gentile. Gentile down the right sideline, looking for somebody in the middle. Can't find him. He'll go behind the net. Stephen Gallick now controls it for the Rams, and he'll get it to the ever-dangerous Jack McKenna. McKenna, guarded by Hoffman for the first time today, makes a nice move, cuts to the right, and this one goes to the right of the crossbar. I believe Phillips was able to get a piece of it. Kroonquist plants his right foot, gets in great position, but misses the net. And that's good defense there. Obviously a good job in goal by J.C. Phillips, who has the first goal of today's game. It was a really remarkable play. Stein, a nice pass up to Buzan, and he gets it to Collins. Blair faithful always breathe a sigh of relief when the ball is in this guy's stick, because usually good things come of it. Collins gets it to Marcus, who you could probably say the same thing about. And Marcus fires this one from the top of the key, but it goes out of bounds. Blair closest to it as it travels out of bounds, and they will control it now behind the net. That's Patty Moe. Morrison probably thought about taking a shot himself, but he'll just work it back around. It eventually gets to Marcus up top. Now Collins fires it, gets deflected. Trying to see who got their stick on it. I believe that was number 32, Stephen Gallick. Nice defensive play there by the Rams. Powers back out to Buzan. Buzan to Marcus. Marcus to Collins once again. Collins underneath, gets it blocked. Buzan picks it up, fires this one, blocked again by Lanigan. But Blair once again will control it. And they're going to start all over now. I like how they do this. I like how they bring it back out, catch their breath, regain their composure, and start all over again.
Yeah, you're better off setting up than getting into a hectic situation.
Hoffman loses this one. Marcus there to get it. It'll go out of bounds, and Blair will get it once again.
Nice long possession for Blair, getting some good shots off. Just a matter of one finding the net at some point.
Well, we're going to stop the clock here. About 7. I'm going to put 30 seconds back on the clock. We got 7:50 to go. And this is Collins at the top of the key. Collins fires this one just above the crossbar. Marcus a little bit closer to the goal now. Morrison gets it back out to him. Now to Collins, back to Marcus. Hoffman with it. And Marcus now being backed down by number 17. It's Paul Moyer. And Matt Collins is now going to start things back up again. Hoffman, a nice move. Gets into the middle and puts it past the goaltender. Zach Hoffman, a great job getting himself through the defense and putting one in the back of the net for Blair to get this lead to 9-5. 6:35 to go here in the third quarter. Blair has taken control back of this game.
We'll take a look at the replay here as he gets right into the middle. And there it is. That middle of the field is a dangerous place. That's exactly where you want to see your guys get to.
And you just saw a little bit of spacing that was created by Marcus and Collins at the top there. Gave Hoffman the room he needed to just slither on through and get it past Lanigan. Great job by all in the offensive zone. It was about a 2-minute possession. Obviously no shot clock in lacrosse, but it wound up being a successful one as Collins wins the draw here.
Blair back on the attack quickly after being on the attack for the majority of this third quarter thus far.
That was Hoffman's third goal of the game. He leads all scorers now with 3 today. And this shot attempt by Collins is snagged by Lanigan. It would have been off the mark anyway. And now the other way with it is McKenna. McKenna gets by Powers and puts this one by Phillips. So Oratory Prep just like that back on the board. And the lead is now 3 for Blair.
This McKenna, he's a really, really special player. The ability to just go the length of the field, take it from coast to coast, and put the ball in the net. Very impressive.
So Collins will take the draw once again. And the Oratory Prep faithful getting back into it as Gallick will now win the draw for the Rams. Gallick, a nice spin move. He's got some space here. Gallick fires this one off the ground and it'll go out of bounds. Contra with a goal already on the game. We'll get it back out to Gentile. Blair giving him some space. We have Chris Wilson here, tasked with guarding the very dangerous Jack McKenna, who's got, I think, 3 goals on the game. Check that, 4. And that's number 5. Jack McKenna with his 5th goal of the game decreases the deficit once again to 2.
Well, McKenna's putting Oratory Prep on his back right now. He's doing everything that he can possibly do. Blair's still ahead, and Blair spreading things around a little bit better, playing some good team lacrosse. But sometimes you go up against an individual that can just really, really play. That's the case right now. So we'll see what wins out in this one, the individual or the team.
Blair yet to find an answer for McKenna, who's headed to Holy Cross to continue his lacrosse career. Stein tried to scoop this one up and couldn't get it, and this one goes high in the air, and Moyer and Stein fighting for it. It gets kicked away, and Gentile eventually gets it for the Rams. There he goes once again, crowd getting behind him. Gentile over to McKenna. McKenna passes inside to Contra, and that was the right move there, Sean, because you could see everybody just kind of get in front of the net for this shot to try to put something on it. And it was a nice pass, but Went out of bounds.
Yeah, I think a lot of the focus defensively for Blair right now needs to be on McKenna. Force him to pass that ball up.
Erlinson gets it into the defensive zone of Oratory Prep. And Morrison now has it. Morrison getting picked at by Boylan. And he'll get it back out to Hoffman, but airmails him. Hoffman picks it up. Nice move to get past Anthony Silvestri. Players getting louder on the field, crowd getting louder. We got an exciting one here as Griffin Marcus puts it through the 5-hole for his first goal of the game.
That was a big goal and required, you talk about a skill goal as opposed to just forcing it through the defense. That was really a lot of skill involved here as we take a second look. Right in there.
It's a beautiful goal underneath. Marcus looking to get on the board. He's been pretty much the catalyst of this offense in being able to make the right decisions, get the ball in the right person's stick as much as possible. But there he had his opportunity to put himself on the board, and he took advantage of it. And the draw is won by Blair as R.J. Stein doing a great job at his long stick midi position to scoop this one up. Hoffman trying to control it. He can't do it, but here's Marcus. Marcus gets it back to Hoffman, who has to jump up about a foot to get this one. Hoffman taking some serious heat here. And Patty Morrison fighting for it. Marcus fighting for it. Hoffman can't come up with it, and eventually it falls into the stick of Owen Durkin for Oratory Prep. Stephen Gallick now with some room to run. Morrison does what he can before he has to stay behind the midfield line. Gallick with a nice spin move on Erlinson. Erlinson pushing him out of the zone. Gallick will exit the field now for Gentile. Coach Donnelly calling out a play here. Gentile guarded tightly by Wilson. Wilson knocks him off his track. Is looking towards the middle, can't find anybody. Goes back behind the net, and Wilson's still with him. Chris Wilson doing a great job defensively here in his last game as a Blair Buccaneer. Shot from the top is no good, and it'll be Blair ball. So that's a great defensive stop there for the Buccaneers as they'll try to get things going. A great snag there by Powers. Powers puts the brakes on and now is going to cross midfield, but gets it knocked away by McKenna. Here comes Kroonquist. It's 2-on-2, and Cooper Clark knocks it away. Stein gets it to Buzan. Buzan guarded tightly. Buzan streaking towards the goal. Puts the brakes on, gets it to Patty Morrison.
Tom, another example of Blair not trying to force anything. They're letting themselves get set up in their offensive zone.
Marcus gets it to Hoffman. Hoffman for another goal. Zach Hoffman, his fourth goal of the game. 11-7 now the score. So Griffin Marcus and Zach Hoffman answer immediately off the two goals from Jack McKenna. And the lead is back to 4. Look at this. Hoffman just in an absolute groove right now. A minute and 25 to go here. Collins taking the face off once again. Looks like Gallick might have left early there. So the draw will go to Blair. Morrison behind the net. And he finds Marcus. Griffin Marcus, a nice move inside, creating a little bit more space for himself. And he finds Buzan, and it deflects into the goal. Buzan couldn't control it, but it bounced off the ground and found its way into the goal. Another one for Blair. 12-7 now the score.
And Tom, I think that we saw that Blair absolutely won the first quarter, and without a doubt, Oratory Prep won quarter number 2. I think that we can definitely say that Blair's been winning quarter number 3 here. They've been on the attack, the majority of the quarter. Oratory Prep has a couple of goals in the quarter, but as far as time spent in the other team's defensive zone, it's been all Blair.
Yeah, Blair has really kind of taken the average of their first quarter effort and their second quarter effort, and have been able to put together a really efficient quarter here in the third. And they remain on top here, as you see Stein bodying up McKenna.
They want to make McKenna uncomfortable.
Is clear, as he has 5 goals on the game. And a foul here on Contra will give the ball back to Blair. We got 40 seconds to go here in the third quarter. Here comes Collins. Collins finds Buzan. Was looking for Morrison in front of the net, but Morrison goes behind. And here comes Collins once again. Looking for a seam here. Here comes Hoffman. Hoffman able to keep it. Fantastic stick skills there. Nice spin move by Buzan. He's going to try for it, and it's gobbled up by Lanigan. That was McHale who heaved it all the way down the field, but that will do it here for the third quarter. So we enter the fourth. It has been an incredibly exciting game here. 12-7 is the score. Blair took back control of this game in the third quarter. They were up 7-0 in the first quarter. Oratory Prep got 5 more on the board in the second quarter. And then in the third quarter, Blair put up 5, and Oratory Prep put up 2. So if Blair is able to keep this kind of play going, especially on the offensive end, it's going to be tough for Oratory Prep to really gain control back of this game. They've actually never really had control of this game, but it's going to be hard for them to make another run as they did in the second quarter.
Yeah, that's what it's going to take for Oratory Prep in this one. They will have to go on another run like they did in the second quarter, but it seems as though Blair has corrected the mistakes that led to Oratory Prep having that big second quarter. So it's not impossible for Oratory Prep to come back, as we see that they have a prolific ability to score, but Blair is absolutely favored in this one right now.
They are firing on all cylinders here. Offensively, they started off on fire in the first quarter. 7 straight goals, unanswered goals, and they came back out and had a good third quarter as well. It is senior day here, saying goodbye to 7 seniors here for the Buccaneers. And looking to end this season on a high note. They are unable to get to 500 as they dropped 2 really tight ones recently to DePaul Catholic and to, I believe it was Wyoming Seminary. So they're 7-9 on the year. They can go to 8-9 on the year. But nonetheless, if they finish with a big win against a really good team, which is what this Oratory Prep team is, they're an outstanding team at the 8th seed in the state tournament. Definitely something to be proud of if they're able to get this one.
Absolutely. This is, certainly not a team to be taken lightly in Oratory Prep. And anytime you can get a win, whether it's the end of the season or the middle of the season or whenever it is, always a big win.
Collins will take the face-off. Gallick will seemingly win the draw, and he'll put a shoulder into R.J. Stein. So Oratory Prep being extremely aggressive to start things off here in the fourth quarter. Gentile gets it knocked away by Collins. Stein puts a bit of a shoulder into Gentile, and things are getting a little bit chippy here. That is Sisler going for it, kicks it ahead. Buzan fighting for it. Ball staying on the ground for most of the fourth quarter here. 30 seconds in, nobody's had possession. And here it goes once again. That was Powers. Gets it down low to Buzan. It's him against about 5 Oratory Prep defenders. Patty Moe tries to work it up top. Good play by Gallick to block it. But Morrison will get it back out to Powers. So Blair is doing a good job of avoiding turnovers as they might lose possession for a little bit, but able to gain it back. They've done that a number of times today, which has saved them on a number of occasions. Collins takes his eye off of it, gets by him. Morrison fighting for position, trying to get it to Collins. Knocks Silvestri away. And now Griffin Marcus controls it. And this is where Blair wants to be. Every time we've seen this here, Sean, where they're able to set up an offense, able to get it into the possession of Zach Hoffman, who's got 4 goals on the game. They have been fortuitous. Hoffman is going to be bruised after this one. Morrison underneath. Looking for some space. Takes a whack from Gallick. Morrison will get it to Marcus. 10 minutes to go here in the game. Marcus, crossfield pass to Hoffman. Hoffman fires, and it's off the mark.
Oratory Prep getting very aggressive defensively, coming out to meet the offense of Blair Academy.
Oratory Prep is playing like it is their last game as well, as the shot from Marcus is off the mark, but it will stay in Blair's possession, as Morrison and Buzan were right there. Morrison, the great young talent from Lancaster, only a sophomore. Collins came into Blair last year as a new junior, and he has been a welcome addition to the campus and also to the Blair team. And Buzan puts this one in. Jay Buzan getting it done. That is his 3rd goal of the game.
Big one from Jay Buzan.
So we have goals from Morrison, Hoffman, Powers, Collins, Long, Phillips, Buzan, and Marcus, only 2 of which have come from non-seniors.
Take a look at the replay here.
And Buzan is really playing an outstanding game, playing like a man possessed, as you see Marcus once again creating opportunities for his teammates. Powers to Buzan. And here you see it once again. A nice spin move and then the finish at the goal. A great shot there by Buzan. Stands at about 6'3". Collins wins the draw here. Got 9:15 to go in the game. We have a timeout called by Blair. So that is their first timeout of the game. They lead 13-7 now. We have 9 minutes to go. And Blair seems to have found a bit of a strategy here, and that's just simply keep it on their offensive half.
Well, that's a pretty good strategy. If you don't have to worry about the other team having the ball, well, they're not going to score. So they've done a really good job, really, in 3 of the 4 quarters of this game of just constantly staying on the attack and not rushing their offense, getting set, having good long possessions. If you tracked the time of possession stat for today, I think it would overwhelmingly favor Blair Academy.
And I think that has to go into part of their plan here today, as they just keep it away from that really powerful Oratory Prep offense. We saw what they could do, 5 unanswered goals in that second quarter. And as long as they keep executing on the offensive end, it seems like Blair is steadily in control of this game. But we have seen Oratory Prep erase a deficit very quickly. And this is a very experienced, this is an outstanding team, high-powered offense. And Blair's defense is going to be put to the test. As you can see, the aggression from Oratory Prep ramp up significantly.
One thing that I think Blair has done really well in this second half is focus on Jack McKenna, because he has just an incredible ability to score goals. But they've put the focus on him. He has 5 of the 7 goals for Oratory Prep, but hasn't scored in a little bit of a while here.
You're right, he hasn't. He's got 5 of their goals. He had a couple good opportunities there in the third quarter at the end, but Blair doing a great job finding different matchups to put on him, giving him something else to think about, so he can't get used to one person guarding him. Here's Morrison, gets some space, and this one knocked away by Lanigan. Nice job in net, and then another save on the rebound by Buzan. Buzan gets it back to Morrison. Morrison to Hoffman. Hoffman going to work it back out. Chris Boylan on him. Morrison now streaks behind the net, finds Marcus. Marcus, a nice pass to Hoffman. Hoffman's going to fire, and it's going to be snatched by Lanigan in net.
Lanigan with a nice possession there defensively. A few nice saves.
Bobby D'Angelo in the game for Prep as Hoffman loses his stick. And Sisler with a nice play on the defensive end. He loses it, but Collins there to clean it up. Here comes Collins all the way past the Oratory Prep defense. Now he's behind the goal and looks for Powers, but gets it over his head. Stein works it back. Powers gets his ball blocked by McHale. Marcus fighting for it. And losing his stick is the Ram defender, and it will go back to Blair. So here comes Hoffman. Collins with it. Collins getting hacked at by McHale. Going to keep a safe distance and get it to Marcus. Griffin Marcus underneath, and it's no good. Nice save once again by Lanigan. Powers scoops this one up off the ground, and he'll get it to Collins once again. So they're doing a great job of playing keep away here. And the offensive rebounds here for Blair are piling up as the clock ticks under 7 minutes. Hoffman and Gallick fight for it. Gallick eventually gets it, but they're going to say he was out of bounds. So now Blair will maintain possession here. It was a good hustle by Hoffman. Collins underneath, a great save by Lanigan. Collins with an underhand shot attempt there.
Lanigan standing on his head here in the fourth quarter.
He really is. He's had some great saves. Gallick with it, some space, and a nice block by J.C. Phillips. J.C. Phillips with a beautiful save in net. So both goalies going back and forth with some great plays. Phillips gets it to Hoffman. Hoffman with a beautiful move. They get away from the 2 Ram defenders. Another spin move, and he eventually loses it. McHale up with it for the Rams. D'Angelo giving chase. He's going to scoop this one up with some space to run here. And D'Angelo gets it to McKenna. McKenna gets it to almost midfield here. Oratory Prep's going to put something on. There's Sargenti with it. Sargenti absorbs a hit from Erlinson, gets it behind the net, and this one makes its way into the goal, I believe, deflected off of Contra.
There is a flag down, but I don't think it will affect the goal.
I believe the goal. Well, I'm not sure here. We'll see what happens. No, the goal is not going to count here. So we got 4:30 on the clock. And Oratory Prep will start once again with the ball. 13-7 is the score. Underneath, that's Kroonquist, an eye for an eye, and Phillips blocks this one. Kroonquist, about 10 feet away, just completely fired that. Went off the base of Phillips' stick. And now Phillips on the aggressive once again, gets across midfield. Phillips loves to do this. And now he's got to sprint all the way back into goal. And Morrison now controls it for the Buccaneers. You think these seniors don't realize that it's their last game, Sean?
Oh, I think you can just tell by the way that they're motoring around this field. They know it's their last game. They're putting every ounce of heart into this one. It's really a treat to watch.
There's a flag on the field. And Blair's going to take their time as Marcus controls it behind the net, and he gets it to Collins. Collins to Hoffman. Hoffman underneath. That's Buzan with the red stick. And back to Marcus. Marcus guarded by Moyer. Gets it to Powers. Powers fires from the top, and it goes over the goal. But this will send an Oratory Prep defender to the box here as Sargenti leaves the field as well for Silvestri, and McHale back onto the field for the Rams. That's Lexi Kemp into the game for the first time today, or I'm sorry, for the second time today. As the shot by Powers is off the mark. Collins now with it. Kemp back out to Collins. Collins, a nice pass down low to Patty Morrison. Morrison back out to Collins. And Blair, once again, just keeping the ball away from Oratory Prep. Collins now a little bit closer to the goal, and he's going to fire this one halfway across campus.
It's a pretty big campus. That's an impressive feat.
It is. And we're going to put 2 minutes and 20 seconds back on the clock here. 2:15 now, ticking down. And Blair with an excellent strategy here with 6 minutes, or I'm sorry, with 2 minutes to go, 6 goals might seem a little bit too tall of a task here for the Rams to come back from. Joel Pascuzzi back into the game for the Rams. And now McKenna with it. Oratory Prep needing a little bit of a sense of urgency here to climb back into it as Wilson bodies McKenna. McKenna weaves in and out, fires this one wide. And it seemed as if Cooper Clark was there, but they're going to give this to Oratory Prep to start with it. Minute 35 to go here in the game. Blair leads 13-7. This is the final game of the season for the Buccaneers as Kroonquist puts this one up high into the goal. So 13-8 now the score. Now we have 1:25 to go. I've seen stranger things.
I have seen stranger things as well, although I don't think we're going to see that strange of a thing today. Blair's played pretty well. I would say start to finish, except for the little blip in the second quarter, but start and finish for Blair.
Blair has really just, as you said, aside from the second quarter, has really controlled the pace of this game. They've controlled the tempo. They've controlled the feel of this game. And it's just been a really well-coached, well-executed, high-energy, fantastic game to watch here. And if this is their best, it'd be safe to say they saved the best for, for the last. Marcus gets knocked down there by Moyer, and McKenna hobbling to midfield. McKenna picked up by Hoffman. Hoffman cross-checks him up top. Blair not letting him get this one easily, but he keeps the ball in his possession somehow. Gets it over to Gallick with a jump and a goal for Oratory Prep.
What an athletic play by Gallick there, man.
Both of them, between Gallick and McKenna, that was outstanding. 41 seconds to go. I can't believe McKenna held on to it after getting just crushed by 3 different Blair defenders.
Yeah.
It was an excellent play by him to set up Gallick for the goal. 41 seconds to go here. 4-goal lead for Blair. Gallick will eventually pick it up now for the Rams. Got 30 seconds to go in the game. Gallick gets to Sargenti at the top. Sargenti guarded by Collins. Collins trying to slash at it, can't get it. Sisler comes up with it for the Bucks. Now Cooper Clark has it. Cooper Clark, a nice pass down to midfield. That's Zach Hoffman. Hoffman to Buzan. Blair looking to put one back on the board just for good measure. 4 seconds to go. And that'll do it here at Blair Academy as the Buccaneers come out victorious. 13-9, the win over Oratory Prep brings them to 8-9 to finish out the year. A fantastic season here for the Bucks and a great way to finish it off as Oratory Prep falls to 11-6 on the year. They have their state tournament first-round game next week against Gloucester Catholic, so we wish them the best there. But this Blair Academy Buccaneer team came out firing, Sean, and were able to maintain that success and pick it up in the third and fourth quarters to sustain a scare from Oratory Prep and finish the season on a high note.
Yeah, Tom, I think we knew from just about 2 minutes into this game that it was going to be Blair's day. It's senior day out here, a beautiful spring day here at Blair Academy. And they came out just on fire, going up 7-1 in the first quarter, just coming out firing on all cylinders. They did a great job. Had the little blip in the second quarter where Oratory Prep cut it to 7-5. But Blair came back in quarter number 3, played really well, held on in the fourth, and just a complete game played by Blair Academy.
Patty Moe, Patrick Morrison had a goal. Zach Hoffman had 4. Chris Powers had 1. Matt Collins had 1. Wyatt Long had 1. J.C. Phillips started the game off, the goaltender, with the goal for the Buccaneers. Griffin Marcus had 1, and Jay Buzan had 3. So a perfect way to put a bow on this season. The seniors walk-off winners here at Blair Academy. I want to thank everybody here at Blair for an outstanding season here with Strive. We streamed, I believe, 6 games in the fall, 7 in the winter, and 7 in the spring, and it was a blast, every single one of them. So thanks so much for tuning in. Thank you so much for your support. For Sean, I'm Tom. We'll see you next year. Have a great weekend, everyone.